Hello everybody. I hope you enjoyed my series last week that I started for color combos, and I started with the idea of fall. Continuing with that, I'm going to show you today another way to get color combos. So join me in my studio and let's have some fun. Last week I pulled out all the colors you could associate with fall. This week I want to show you how you can use all those magazines, clothing magazines you get in the mail for ideas. I got this one earlier this week, and as I was looking through it, I looked at this and I went, perfect for fall colors. So I'm going to use that as my inspiration. The advantage to that is there's a turtleneck that goes underneath that has some colors. So I pulled two of the colors from there. This one has Shadow Heather, which is Mossy Meadow, and Spice, which is Cinnamon Cider to me. And I pulled in a yellow. This one looks like a pink, and they say eggplant, but that's a late pink. But I went with the yellow instead because that's a color I associated with fall. Knowing that, I'm going to be making some fall leaves. Aren't these gorgeous? So wait till you see what we do with the card today. I'm going to be using this leaf, this leaf, this leaf, and this image here. All right, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my leaves. And I'm going to start with my crushed curry. And I start with my lighter color first because I want my leaves two-toned, three-toned if you're lucky. All right, so I'm going to ink it up with the crushed curry. Then I'm going to come in with my Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to take a sponge dauber, and I'm going to sponge some green on there in various spots, and I'm going to stamp it. So then I get that two-tone leaf. So there's one of my leaves. I'm going to do another one with Cinnamon Cider, and I'm going to stamp this one with the Cinnamon Cider, and this time I'm going to ink it up also with the Mossy Meadow. Now I'm not going to put a whole lot on here. This isn't a big leaf, so, and I'm kind of stamping it this way so I can get all the leaves on there. Now it's hard to see. If you wanted a lighter color, I'm going to show you what it would look like. You can get that, but that to me is too light for what I'm going for. So there's my one, and this is my last leaf, and my last leaf is really tiny, and Mossy Meadow would be the color that I would use, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that Cinnamon Cider, which is dark. I'm going to stamp it, and I'm just stamping on the back. You can stamp on scrap paper. And I'm going to pull in, and let's see if this works. I don't know if it will. I'm going to try some crushed curry on here. Hopefully we don't get mud. And I'm doing the edges. All right, let's see. So it does. There's a little bit of difference. You may not be able to see it. I'll pull it up. But you can see that that brown is in there with the crushed curry. So I have used all of the colors that I pulled out. All right, and I want to keep the Cinnamon Cider out. So I'm going to close these up so I don't make a mess. And then this is a bundle, and it has the coordinating dies. So I'm going to cut out my dies for my leaves using my dies, and I'll be back. All right, I got my leaves cut out, so now it's time to put my card together. I chose to use Very Vanilla because white is very harsh, and I like the look of vanilla in the fall. It's a little bit more muted. All right, I've taken that wood piece, and I'm going to ink it up with the Cinnamon Cider, and I need to get a scrap paper. Good thing I have one right underneath here to stamp this off. Yeah, just to make sure. All right, so I'm going to stamp that right about there. Now I'm keeping this card clean and simple, but you can always step it up. You can emboss this background, you can do whatever you want. Now I'm going to add my leaves, and I'm going to go with this one first, and I'm going to use some dimensionals. So I have some pop to it, so to speak. It gives it a little bit more interest. All right, and there's that one and that. And I'm going to add dimensionals to this while I'm at it. Sometimes they come off easy and sometimes they don't. My dimensionals anyway. Then I'm going to take my backs off. Now I have to tell you my pokey tool hasn't been cooperating with me lately. I think it's operator error. All right, so I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it here, like so. This one I'm going to put down here, and then this one is going to go over here. I have kept them, the stems, all in one area because I'm going to put on a bow. But before I put on that bow, I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow card base and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to add this to the front. I'm going to do it before I put my ribbon on because it'll make it easier to do so, because that ribbon's going to add some bulk. So I'm going to add, ooh, almost did that upside down. That would not have been good. All right, so there's that. Now I'm going to do my bow, and I'm going to pull out quite a bit because I'm going to do a multi-loop bow. So I'm going to start with 3 fingers, or 2 fingers, wrap it around 2 times, 3 fingers 2 times, 4 fingers 2 times. Then I'm going to cut it. I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to pull this out so I have something to work with. Oh, I used the wrong scissors. Oh, no, no, no. All right, so I'm going to take the inside loops